Broadcasting live from the campus of Syracuse University, this is Newhouse Afternoon.
Welcome to this hour of Newhouse Afternoon, powered by Drivers Village. Go to dvoffers.com for more info. Live today, I am Jill Schumacher with Patrick Scanlon and Andrew Watson. So, let's dive in, dive right in.
Busy weekend.
It is. It was a very busy weekend in the ACC.
Oh, yeah.
So, let's dive right into our ACC risers and fallers of the week.
Oh, for football? There's some guys slinging it yesterday. You know who's slinging it? Kevin Jennings. And my SMU Mustangs pony up 13th in the college football playoff poll that came out last night. First team out, actually, of the tournament right now. So only ACC team to make it as of right now would be Miami in your double bye. I guess if you're talking ACC terms. Potentially.
I mean, who knows?
Who knows? SMU, they're my riser this week. Kevin Jennings, the quarterback, can sling it. Had 306 passing yards on 17 for 25 completions, 2 touchdowns. Slung it to 8 guys across the field for the Mustangs. Up 31-3 at half over a top 20 Pitt team who just walloped Syracuse. I mean, it was more of a wallop. They threw 5 picks. Yeah, that's a good word. It's a good SAT word for all the younger listeners out there. Wallop slung it. He can do a lot of things. Kevin Jennings can do a lot of things in the SMU Mustangs. Pony up, because a month ago I said don't look now, but the Mustangs have a great shot at the ACC title game, and now with Clemson losing, went out and you're in. So SMU Mustangs, big riser.
He's really pulling out receipts.
Yeah, I think it's funny that I know you wrote that down just in case, and then if they would have lost the game, I know you'd be sitting in there, you'd highlighted it, and you'd press delete. And
I knew, because there's no because I knew they would win. I knew that.
There's no receipts.
I knew they would win. It's different when I know things. This one I knew. This one wasn't a judgment call. I knew that SMU would do this.
Okay.
So.
They have been doing well.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. It for sure has been a crazy week in the ACC. I mean, the games this weekend were very much unpredictable, to say the least. I mean, you have that game, and now I'm looking at the Clemson-Louisville game. Louisville is my riser. I feel that they are a definition of a riser, in my personal opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Just because they weren't doing too hot at the beginning, and then they kind of really did work their way back to the top, which, as we all could agree, is the definition of a riser. Beating Clemson.
It is. They are rising. Legitimately in the standings.
Rising. They did beat Clemson 33-21.
On the road.
Yes.
On the road again.
That is very true.
Crazy stuff.
On the road. And then I feel that November 24th against Pitt will be the real test to see if they are back.
Oh, for Clemson? Yeah, that's going to be a big game. On the road to Pitt, two teams that were I guess maybe looking a little ahead, because you got Pitt getting walloped versus SMU on the road, and then Clemson taking an L at home. But you do have that game at the crux of the three rivers in Pittsburgh.
I think we'll really know if Louisville has kind of found their groove, if they can beat and/or compete in a close game.
They do.
Against Pitt.
Their 3 losses are really close. Yeah, that Notre Dame won by a score.
I just don't think they were ready yet. I think they weren't really gelled yet. I said this before. Their new coach he's 2 years new, but he's a good coach. He turned over.
He had a big last year was a statement victory. I mean, he beat Notre Dame at home by 3 scores, maybe even 4. That was your big win last year. So building off the momentum, you really sky high expectations this year.
He completely turned around the Purdue program. So I think it was just a little bit of a mishap in the beginning. How about you, Andrew? What is your riser?
I'm going to keep it very simple. That man over there on that bag of chips. Syracuse is my riser this week.
To be clear, you're talking about Kyle McCord.
Yes,
I'm talking about Kyle McCord on the radio. And Syracuse. Kyle McCord bouncing back from what was a not so great performance.
Not so great. I think more than not so great.
Yeah, I mean, don't want to talk too bad,
It was really a weird anomaly looking back at that scale. 5 picks, 3 pick sixes, but and then you see that man in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, especially maybe it's just second half Syracuse. I think the first half they looked, not so great. Virginia Tech was dominating the game, and then it felt like seemingly out of nowhere.
People left the stadium, and it was
it was the Virginia Tech kicker who was out there that fired up the crowd, fired up everyone on the team just to say
Brown
we don't
not
do
happy
that.
Yeah, you want to run through what that was crazy. We were there at the game.
We were there,
cheers
sitting front row, right in the corner of the end zone, and while the band is out there doing their thing, sounding great. Virginia Tech kicker out there trying to hit some field goals.
In the middle of all the band.
Right in the middle of it. And then finally he, got off the field and
After
everyone
some boos
cheered,
from the
but
stands.
every time he would kick it, he'd get booed, and I think that fired everyone up. And
You see, he sent out a notes app apology via social media. I'm sorry to the Syracuse band. I value the band, that type of thing. And Fran Brown in the
I did
post-press
not
presser.
see that.
Yeah, no, he sent out a notes app apology.
A notes app apology?
Notes app apology.
Oh, yeah.
Very
Big time.
interesting.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, but Syracuse the riser after last week. Obviously looking back to Pitt, but after that and then going into this one, it felt like a must-win. I mean, it was a 5-2 team. Now they're going into a bowl game.
We're bowling.
We're bowling.
Projections say the Fenway Bowl against Memphis as of right now, but
Yeah, definitely Pitt to Syracuse. Syracuse is my riser.
Well, speaking of Pitt, Pitt is actually my faller against your ponies.
Ooh, pony up,
Pony up.
Mustangs. Yeah.
I mean, it's not that the thing is that SMU is a great team. Losing to them doesn't make them my faller. It's the deficit of what they lost by.
Yeah,
they lost
weren't really
48 to 25, and they didn't score a touchdown until the second half completely. Like, you can't get shut down like that. I don't know.
No,
But
31-3 at halftime in the top 20 game, and then you're like, oh, game day should have been at SMU on the ACC network, and then they were like, oh, maybe they shouldn't have been. Crazy. I mean, I didn't expect them to go out like that, especially when Pitt came out firing like that against Syracuse. You'd expect some sort of fire in the first quarter,
And
first half.
Pitt had majority possession of the ball for 31 minutes compared to 28. Yes, that's not a huge deficit, but you have to make sure you're doing something during that offensive possession, and they just could not convert for
No,
a
they couldn't
touchdown.
score one bit. But, I mean, Fallers, big time. Andrew, who do you got on this one? Fallers in the ACC. It's a big weekend.
I'm keeping mine in the same game for me.
Oh. You think
Virginia Tech, yeah.
Oh, for Syracuse. Yeah.
I think Virginia Tech is my faller this week. They, not necessarily in the conversation to make the ACC championship game, but the path was definitely there.
They had the thing is the good thing for them is like it's weird because when you say good losses, like they're losses, they're not good.
Yeah.
But the fact they were non-ACC losses, so you lose to Rutgers and Vanderbilt, like those again, usually and not this season, they'd be real bad losses, even though they're non-ACC losses. But Vanderbilt's having a great year. Just beat Auburn. That's not really saying much, but they beat beat Bama, beat a lot of great teams. Rutgers was pretty hot for a second, especially early in the season, and then you only have that loss to Miami when they won the game, and then 5 minutes later they overturned the call.
Yeah.
And then they also lost. Tech's last loss was to Clemson. No, not to Clemson. It was one of the last in an ACC opponent, but they had 2 ACC losses. This one being a third really was the straw that broke the camel's back here.
We've talked about the difficulty of playing in Blacksburg, Virginia. Do you think...
Oh, yeah, second loss being Syracuse. Sorry. Syracuse was the second
There you go. Now you're gone.
We've talked about the difficulty of playing in that arena and not to underestimate it. What do you think was their pitfall within that game, playing at the Dome and not at home?
I don't think it was really... I mean, the environment was good. It was about what it always is, especially once Syracuse started to score.
Yeah.
But I think it just... I'm not sure Tech really found a way to lose that game. I think Syracuse found their footing and found a way to make it a game. And then, once it was last drive, Kyle McCord moving the ball, I think at that point it turned into kind of a coin flip of who was going to win. And I think that's what everyone expected that game to be. I mean, that was the game of the weekend. But they're my fault.
The fact that you're down, 21-3 in halfway through the third, and then you come back. We'll talk about this in the next segment, but 21-3 and then leading start of the fourth, and you're down 18 halfway through the third. I had to wipe my eyes,
Yeah,
get some
I
new
don't
context
even think
in.
it's
I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
they are a faller, but it was almost kind of just like you said, Syracuse, your riser, to be able to come back from that large of a deficit is just impressive in its own right. So there is that. But let's.
I got one more follow too. Yeah, so before we
Sorry,
we'll wrap it up.
I almost forgot
Yeah, I know,
Patrick.
could have cut me off there.
That'd be
How could you?
My
How
faller,
could
I couldn't have got with anyone else. Clemson, but wait, why Clemson? Their running back Phil Maffa rushed for a season high 171 yards and 2 touchdowns. You led the time possession by 15 points. 15 minutes, great. You had more passing touchdowns, more rushing yards, more total yards, 12 more first downs. You hold Louisville's QB to his first game this season with under 200 passing yards. He had 156, and you stormed the field. Great things were happening at Clemson. Why are they my faller? Because they lost. They lost by 12 to Louisville. They rush the field every time they play. Really dumb. I don't agree with that. But
they rushed the field after they lost?
After every game, they rush the field. Clemson rushes the field after every game.
Why did I not know this?
It's because it's just
I
a
think
Clemson
I just
thing.
in my head I thought
It's
it
a
was
weird
because something good happened.
Clemson's out. No, well, I mean, other normal teams do that. Normal teams say, "I'll rush the field. We beat a big opponent."
Wait,
but
what?
Clemson beats Wofford
I
in
did
an
not know
FCS
that.
game. Then they also rush the field, and if they lose to Louisville or Florida State or something crazy, they also rush the field. So it comes, it has its pros and cons, but crazy. That's crazy tradition.
That's an incredibly weird tradition.
Still looking at ACC football, I know we had a pretty busy week this past week with some good matchups. Going into next week, looking at this Saturday and Sunday, actually, what are we thinking are the top games that we should be looking at this week?
I think week 11, I mean, we'll talk about this in a sec too, but, I mean, Syracuse BC is the closest one on the schedule. I mean, the closest spread, I think it opened at like maybe a point. It's now at 2. Syracuse BC, a lot riding. Two teams going in very opposite directions right now.
For me, it's Pitt and Clemson to see if they were both just having down games and if they can turn it around, and we'll see what happens there.
Yep.
I mean, I think is that next week?
Oh yeah,
sorry, I was looking too far
We
ahead.
got Clemson, Virginia Tech though.
Yeah, that was gonna
in
be
Blacksburg.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah. In Blacksburg though.
I agree. I think that game in Blacksburg is going to be
not a night game though. They didn't deserve it after losing to Syracuse. You blew an 18-point lead.
It will be night by the end of the game.
That's true.
But
they'll exit Sandman, but they won't enter.
It'll be two teams that are looking to bounce back, and I don't think it'll be the best game. I think Clemson has an opportunity to dominate that one, but the environment.
See if there's an upset.
Also, a weird one here, but or Jill, we'll talk about this when we come back, I think.
Yeah, we're gonna head to a break really quickly. We'll still be talking about next week in the break on the stream. If you guys have any questions for us, if not, now we're just gonna head to a little commercial break.
Sweet. There we go.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that I would be laughing, mate. I would really be laughing if Virginia Tech upsets Clemson.
It is like sort of like a lull you to sleep 3:30. It's not like when you say 7 o'clock, like people get up for that. If it's especially if it's Blacksburg, people get up for that. But 3:30, you ease into the night. You don't see the night coming. It kind of, especially with daylight savings time now on the back end of it.
don't see the night coming.
I think Miami, Virginia Tech though. I mean, Miami, it's gonna keep that one close a little bit. Georgia Tech, I mean.
I don't know. A noon game in Atlanta?
I don't know. See, that just happened. A noon game at home versus Duke. I mean, Duke's pretty solid. And Virginia Tech beat Duke by 10. So, sorry, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech beat Duke by 10.
Can't mix up those Techs, man.
I know all the Techs are going funky right now.
You can't mix them up,
Let's go Tech.
You guys are sleeping on 8 o'clock, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
What about it?
What's that?
UVA.
Oh, I'm not sleeping on it. It's just
what
the truth.
What about the upset incoming? Florida State picks up their second win of the year.
At Notre Dame, I'll be at that game.
In South
I
Bend.
would freak out. I would actually kind of low-key love that.
I think everyone would.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen. 26.5 is the spread right now.
I don't know.
I don't know. Notre Dame, here, look at,
Notre Dame likes to lose random games.
That's true. I hope that's not the case.
They lose one random game every year. I think they already had it, though.
They already had
their random game.
Who was it that they lost to again?
Northern Illinois.
Yeah, it was some. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I was trying to remember. Couldn't though.
I smell these chips.
Chips.
Smells like plastic. On the outside.
Very plasticky. Let's look at these. Okay, 160 calories per 15 chips.
Per 15.
That's actually not awful. Is that bad?
I have no idea. I don't count my calories.
Yeah, I just eat them.
Do I look like I count my calories?
Yes, you do. You look like a model.
If I see the serving size is 15, it's usually after I've already eaten 45. So that's
I'm examining the bag. No trans fat. That's good. Trans fats are not good. A lot of sodium. 272 milligrams. Wait, that seems like a lot of sodium. We got protein.
I'm interested to see
what's quote unquote a lot of sodium.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Is this not a lot of sodium? 272 milligrams?
What is a
milligrams, not grams?
I said milligrams. Grams would be bad. I know that, but look at this compared to everything else.
I don't know.
Jill, you're the athlete. You're the super
daily.
Yeah, but if you're working out that much, you're not worried about that.
The daily recommended amount of sodium is.
This is gonna blow his mind.
Yeah, this is crazy. The average American consumes more than 330. Or wait, whoa.
No.
3,300 milligrams of sodium per day.
And that's
crazy.
Wait, are you supposed to do that, or is that just what we're supposed to do?
It says a lot of sodium is more than the recommended daily amount, which is less than 2,300 milligrams.
Okay. All right, so I guess you can have a lot of sodium.
What's the average an athlete can get?
I don't know. It also says items with 400 milligrams or more of sodium are high in sodium. So if you eat a couple servings of that, then you're in trouble.
This could be my lunch. I think so.
This is going to be your lunch?
Might be.
There's a Panda Express right over there, and you're just going to have chips.
You didn't even let me eat it. You went Panda Express?
You didn't ask.
You didn't even ask. You didn't offer.
You could have said, Andrew, can I have the rest of that?
I had a nice sandwich. I had a nice ham and turkey cheese sandwich.
I did not hear what he said.
Probably 10
He
seconds.
said back in a minute.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't hear it.
We didn't really talk about Miami that much last week. Dude, they were down 11 to Doot.
Yeah, and then they won.
I did. They were
like 30.
I think I mentioned them.
Oh.
Okay, thank you. Big weekend for the Orange.
Let's go, Tech.
Big weekend for the Orange.
Let's go, Tech.
Big weekend for the Orange.
I think we're back. We are back. We are back.
You there?
ESPN 97.7 and 100.1. Watch live on QSportsTalk.com. Tomorrow's broadcasting stars today. Broadcasting live from the campus of Syracuse University. This is Newhouse Afternoon.
Welcome back to ESPN 97.7 Newhouse Afternoons, Q Sports Talk. I'm Jill Schumacher here with Pat Scanlon and Andrew Watson.
Oh, and we're living large.
We are living large.
Is that an underestimate? Are we living large right now?
No, we're back.
Oh, we're back.
We're back,
We've been
yeah.
saying a lot of things right now.
Yeah.
Yes,
Some are
we're
saying that we are back, especially after the break.
We're back.
We're always back after the
We're
break.
back, and we're going to try some of your favorite
Oh,
lunch
I did find this at Wegmans. A little shout out to Kyle McCord's chips by Terrell's.
Yes.
What good
So
stuff.
we
Special.
did get the Kyle McCord chips in light of that big win against VT.
Little
And we
ASMR for
are
you.
going to talk about while we try these
Wow.
Did I get a good
chips.
sound on that one? I think I got
I
some good
think it
sound.
was a little bit over the top. I think he could have held it a little bit further away.
We're going to talk about what the Orange need to do
This is a big
to take
chip.
on BC after we try these.
Actually, I'm going to tell you guys, this is probably like, this chip is like about the size, like half the size of an iPhone. And like the width is the same width as an iPhone as well. This
right.
is maybe the biggest chip I've ever seen.
We're going to
I'm going to go for just a bite.
Yeah, we're all going to, well, it's one bite, everyone knows the rules.
Here.
Whatever's
But
the rules.
Cheers.
Wait, so let's say, what's the flavor?
Oh, okay, yes. Everyone, so if you're listening, this is honey barbecue, sharp cheddar, flavored potato chips.
I don't think those flavors, like how would you think those flavors go well together?
We're going to find out.
Okay. 'Cause I'm hoping to be
I am
pleasantly
going to hold
surprised.
the mic a little bit away from my face.
You don't
so
know-
I
Yeah.
get like I don't ruin everyone's.
That's true. All right.
I'll put these here.
Okay. I can smell it. The smell's big time.
So
It's
you
a big
can,
wop.
you can see Kyle.
Are you a chip connoisseur?
All right,
I guess so.
3, 2, 1.
Whoa. I could taste the honey.
Scale of 1 to 10.
I don't think out of the honey, barbecue, and sharp cheddar, I didn't think the honey would be the one that stands out the most, but I don't hate it. They kind of go well together.
1 to 10.
I'm going to go 7-3. 7-3.
Super.
Pretty solid.
I think. Oh, chip down over there.
I
I
know.
think 7 would be mine. But if
I
I ate,
like
Rookie
them.
score.
yeah, if I ate like 15 of them, which is the recommended serving size, just in case you're wondering. We've been doing
I don't know
a
if
lot
that's
of research on
recommended.
that.
That's just what they
it
tell you.
says recommended serving.
They're
size.
recommending you eat 15 chips? Is that how that works?
Well, so you don't eat more than that.
The
Oh, okay.
wonderful
That's
folks
true.
at Terrell's, is that right? Terrell's?
I said Terrell's.
Terrell's.
We're on the route again, Terrell.
This flavor combo works way better than I thought it would.
That's what I was
Speaking
saying.
of Kyle McCord,
That's true.
what do the Orange need to do to take on BC next week, and what are some of the things that we need to change?
Get out to a
And
hot
by
start.
we, I say that like we're on the team. I mean our football team.
We're on the team. If you need me, it's, any sort of like Rudy-esque practice team player, I can do it.
Oh, that's good.
I can't. But I
Are you
think,
sure?
I mean, we could find out. My Road to Glory player on the video game is doing pretty good.
Oh.
But anyway, I think a hot start is important.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's going to be something that, you take away all the stats and everything. Just get off to a hot start because if they would have played great the entire game against Virginia Tech, it wouldn't have been a game.
Right.
It would have been a completely different feeling. So if you can go out, score a touchdown, maybe kick a field goal opposite on your first 2 drives and take an early lead, I think that flips it. It's a noon game in Chestnut Hill. I think that is like a weird environment for Syracuse to go into.
Especially against a rival. Big rival you play every year.
Yeah, so I think just hot start and then, keep your foot on the gas. Don't let off and let them back into the game.
For me, I 100% agree with what you're saying. I feel it's about offensive efficiency in a way where when we were playing VT, we were down by, 2 touchdowns?
18.
We were down
21-3 halfway through the third. Crazy stuff.
And we were able to come back. The problem is that when you dig yourself that hole, yes, you can come back, but sometimes you can't always come back to win. So I feel that it's, like you said, coming out hard,
that's not a recipe for success.
Soft,
no way.
Making sure we come out with our foot on the gas and do what we need to do early and often.
Well, I think the big thing we're looking at here is if we're playing Castellanos and this BC team earlier in the year, they looked great. They're world beaters. They're beating Michigan State. They were leading the top 10 Florida State team on the road. It was really impressive back then. Not so much back now. But right now, they're 165th in the country in total yards, 180th in passing yards. They less than 200 yards a game. Syracuse at 349 passing yards a game, 4th in the country, and 460 plus total yards, top 25 in the country as well. So offensively speaking, you can win a game by boat racing them. You can go score. You'll beat them if you go score to score. Now, here's the thing: BC can slow you down with a little bit of a rushing attack. They around not the best rushing attack in the country. It's like 127th. Like that's right middle of the road, but it's not bad. Like Virginia Tech was good. Like their rushing attack was good, and you saw that. Like I'll give Syracuse some credit. So they pretty much slowed down that Tech running back who had 270 yards of rushing in the last game. But it's not going to happen all the time. This defense can get gashed. So they can be prone to long runs. So BC can slowly establish a rushing game. That can be problematic. So, stop the run, force the pass, and then offense just go out to the races.
Well, I see what you're saying, going like back and forth, kind of like a boat race. My head is that Syracuse actually leads the nation in minutes with possession of the ball. So if we just make sure we are efficient during that time frame, I feel that we can get it done. I also think that, once again, and I have said this before, it's the little things that are adding up to our almost
demise.
I was going to say demise.
I wasn't say the D word. Demise isn't too bad.
I wasn't sure if that was too aggressive, but we did get one of our.
Hey, we're 6-2. Let's not say demise.
We got one of our key defenders back, Marlo Wax, and he was one of the big reasons why we beat BT. So if we could really minimize those missed tackles, I think we should be good this weekend.
I think so too. I mean, back to the hot start thing. I think it's also about putting together 4 quarters of similar football. Against Virginia Tech, the first half it felt a little slow. Just everything was just that a little bit off. Not super horrible. Virginia Tech just did a great job of minimizing the effect of Syracuse's passing game early on. But a couple mistakes, a pick, a fumble, especially the one late in the first half going down. Driving, it looked like the first time all game where they had the opportunity to get down the field. But, minimizing those, playing 4 quarters of solid football. They don't even have to be 4 quarters of great football. It can just be solid football, dominate the possession of the game, and, play like that. You don't have to do anything crazy to win this game.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, one quick thing here. I basically, when you get a McCord throw to everyone on the field, and you have a guy, this Colorado State transfer, come in. It was his second game playing with us, and he gets 4 catches for 2 touchdowns, 88 receiving yards. This Justice Ross Simmons guy. McCord can spread the rock. So anyone, and especially with this, definitely, I think the best receiving core in the ACC, if not, the country. A lot of, explosive plays. They can break out at any time, especially the tight end receiver core. You will explode if you play your cards right. No dumb mistakes. Again, things we talked about the Pitt game that fell through, but things that worked in the second half of the Virginia Tech game.
Well, talk about the quarterback situation. Kyle McCord was 24 for 35 with 2 touchdowns against Virginia Tech. And the BC quarterback, this is against Louisville because they had a bye this past week, was 13 for 28, which is only 46.4%.
Well, if BC's anything like us after a break, after a bye, that should be good for us. That should be good news for the Orange. But I don't know. BC, apparently they closed off the media to personnel, to media. Or they closed off the practice to media this week. So Bill O'Brien's doing some weird things in Chestnut Hill So I don't know. So it looks some weird.
Are we thinking we might see a new quarterback?
I don't know. Castellanos is good. I mean, he showed flashes of potential. He was hurt for that Western Kentucky game, and then since then he's back physically, but doesn't really feel like the same quarterback you saw. Like maybe he'll miss, running around the field
at the start of the season.
Oh yeah, that team that was like world beaters and like received votes for the AP Top 25. Not that team anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I love.
I know you're a big fan of him.
I think he's.
I like him too. I think he is a great quarterback.
Well, so we're saying that Virginia game that's where the wheels came off.
Yeah, that one was not the best performance for them.
Right.
To go on the road at UVA, and this was on October 5th, so this was a long time ago.
Right.
But to go up 14-0 and then just wheels fall off, 24 straight points, and you lose to UVA in that fashion, I think that's a no-go.
That was the beginning of the end, sort of, for BC.
Yeah.
But the season's still alive for them. They have the chance to beat a big rival at home. They have at SMU. They can spoil their party. They have UNC at home, and they have Pitt again. So they can play a lot of spoiler. The Eagles can spoil things for some ACC opponents.
Matchup on matchup, what is the one key thing that Syracuse needs to do in comparison to BC to win this game? And I personally think it's defense.
Okay. Well, what exactly about,
I said it before. It's the little things. Missed tackles, stuff like that. And I think Syracuse has a super strong defense. It's just sometimes it's easier said than done to say little things always matter, because they do. But no matter how hard you try, sometimes little things do happen. You just have to make sure and try your best that they don't stack up on each other.
Yeah.
That's where I feel it is.
I think for me, it's controlling possession and minimizing big plays for Boston College. If you can hold your line share of possession and hold the ball for the majority of the game, maybe 35, 40 minutes, something like that, then I don't think Boston College will have the opportunity to beat you with big plays. And because they're not a team that's going to beat you with big plays. So if you can force them to do that, then that's when Syracuse will find success.
I think it's going to come down. I think this is. I can say this for every game, really. It comes down to Syracuse being able to run the ball with Quinn Allen, and Syracuse being able to stop the run. For some, if football was just a passing game, Syracuse won all of them. But except the Pitt game.
We'll talk about this more headed into break. If you have any questions, just drop it in the Twitch stream, and we will be there.
This is Orange Nation.
We're at a point. Right back.
We'll be right back.
Perfect.
Whoa, chips.
Justice Ross Simmons.
Oh, I gotta get off the chair.
GOAT. These are legit. Look how big this chip is.
They're really big chips.
This is the biggest chip I've ever seen.
That's the one you had earlier was bigger.
Is it Terrell's or Terrell's?
I have no idea.
Terrell's sounds dumb.
This just.
I feel like I should move the mic away from my mouth.
ASMR.
Wow.
Terrell's.
That's so sad. I like. Okay. The more you know.
Terrell's chips.
What did I say, Terrell?
I don't know what you said, but it was wrong, so.
My apologies to Terrell's Food Corp.
Okay.
I'll be better.
What's next?
Syracuse basketball.
This is March.
How much time do we have? Can I go get a quick water?
We have until 30.
Well, no, dude. 2 minutes.
I have water
Wooter?
in my backpack if you want to
How do
grab
you say
that.
it? Wooter?
Water.
Wooter?
Wooter. Wooter. I'm gonna keep eating these.
Stop
if they're
eating
in front
them.
of me.
Oh.
Whoa, Tech.
Can you guess where Lemoyne is in KenPom?
Where? 3:30?
Oh, no, they're better than that.
3:15?
Exactly 3:15.
What's the question?
Where's Lemoyne in KenPom? Do you know where Syracuse is in KenPom?
What are we, like 1:35?
What is KenPom?
It's
The worst thing ever.
It's okay. So there's this guy.
So here's a guy.
It's a guy basically. He puts offensive and defensive stats together, a bunch of different random stats, and he has this KenPom ranking. His name's Ken Pomeroy, but he has a ranking system that the tournament uses to determine. Like it's one of the different ranking systems.
Yeah, offensive efficiency, defensive efficiency. Whoa,
baby.
Words.
Nightmare.
Strength of schedule. There's even a luck. That's the funniest thing to me is the luck rating.
How can you rate luck?
No one knows.
He knows.
Magic.
He knows. Ken Baum knows.
You can't rate luck.
Yeah, you can.
That's like
You'd be very surprised.
Well, it's basically like one possession games you win. So say they're 12-0 in one possession
that's the
games.
equivalent of saying you're good at roulette. You're not good at roulette. It's a game of chance.
But you're not saying they're good at getting luck. It's just saying they get lucky.
Yeah, like they win one possession games. They make shots late.
They
some of the
force a turnover late or something like that.
Like something like maybe the calls would go there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that necessarily luck?
You should talk to Ken Baum.
It's kind of luck.
Talk to Ken Pomeroy. He'll talk to you.
Let's find his contact information.
Spent my dollar.
Luck.
Andrew Luck.
Whoa.
Andrew Luck.
Like, I'm not even kidding. I love Vermont tonight.
That's what I say.
I love it. I think Vermont is good.
Fred's Paul's Bagatskis? Is it Bagatskis?
I think it was Bagatskis.
Those Bagatskis. Ryan Bell told me Bagatskis.
What does he know?
Nothing. That guy. That clown. We got just ethics later. What else we got?
Ethics.
Oh, we got a shot at the CVB road trip.
Yeah.
Your stop for everything college basketball in the Northeast.
We're already TikTok famous, apparently.
We're TikTok famous because of robots that follow us.
Yeah.
You never even sent me the link. I don't even follow it yet.
You don't follow us?
No, because I asked you guys to send me the link. And you didn't.
Don't worry, we already have like 700 other followers.
Don't worry, we have like all these. We have a loyal. we have a loyal.
Perfect.
We have a loyal. Let's see what we got now. Oh, we have 14 new followers since I checked last time. We have 777 followers. Not too bad.
Period.
I love basketball.
We are back.
LOL 5K.
Watch your favorite ESPN Syracuse sports talk shows on QSportsTalk.com. Tomorrow's broadcasting stars today. Broadcasting live from the campus of Syracuse University. This is Newhouse Afternoon.
Welcome back to ESPN 97.7 with Newhouse Afternoon. I'm Jill Schumacher here with Pat Scanlon and Andrew Watson. And
it's the most wonderful time of the year, some are saying. Not Christmas, not the holiday season, but college basketball season.
Let's go.
And if you were planning on sleeping anytime soon,
you can't sleep no March.
Because it's
you can't sleep in March. We sleep in May.
But I can't sleep till March, till after March.
Yeah, after March.
The tournament ends in April.
So what do you say?
We sleep in May.
I don't get it.
Well,
This is March.
We sleep in May.
Oh, I was combining both.
So something crazy happens, like Syracuse, clutch bucket by J.J. Starling late, and you say, "What a bucket! This is March." Because everyone says, "Oh wait, that was a big moment. This is March. This means a little more." But if like something bad happens, you say the epitome of brutality. So if Syracuse were to lose a game to a team they paid to be there, it would be the epitome
where
of brutality.
did epitome of brutality just came?
I gotta give you a little hint here. We are quoting one of the hungriest insiders in college basketball, John Rothstein. He's a big Twitter guy. He's a big reporter for CBS.
Oh, okay.
He tweets out these.
No, I know who you're talking about, but
okay. I'm just making sure because you didn't know about the epitome of brutality. It's a big one.
Well,
you not knowing about the epitome of brutality is the epitome of brutality.
You just went from we sleep in May, this is March, and then all of a sudden you were like, the epitome of brutality.
Well, that's just how he rolls. He could send that out one
I know.
moment.
I was just kind of caught off guard.
What are the three things you don't bring up around Thanksgiving? Oh no, not at Thanksgiving. Around the family. It's like religion, politics, and bubble resumes of teams on the edge of March Madness. You don't want to talk about that. It can get controversial.
No.
Like Virginia last year. We don't need to talk about that though. But we do need to talk about Syracuse 4-point win over Lemoyne. Lemoyne really came out feisty and sloppy basketball early for Syracuse, and they you thought they would pull away late, but they didn't. Let Lemoyne back in, and we needed some heroics late from J.J. Starling to keep them at bay.
I 100% agree. I don't think that was the best game from Syracuse. Once again, it is very early. They're shaking the rust off. You got to give them a minute.
They also haven't played together.
That's what I'm saying. I just think that the chemistry is taking a second to get there. But yeah, I would agree. The early turnovers at the start were kind of worrisome, and we were down going into the second half.
Yeah, no, I think one thing you're talking about rust and finding that chemistry. There was a set of two plays that I loved, where it was Jair Davis dishing inside to Eddie Lampkin for a lay on a sweet pass, and then the next play was the exact same thing on the opposite side with Lampkin to Davis down low. So if those two can pass together, like if you have two passing big men that can do it, and Lampkin figures out his turnover issues that he had at Colorado and he had at TCU on the pass, you're going to have some dangerous stuff in the front court, and that can translate anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, you can talk about the inside game, but I don't really think that was
It wasn't
problem.
really. But I saw the flashes
in the
of even
exhibition
better,
games. In the exhibition games, the inside game felt like a problem. It felt like they couldn't get it there, and they were settling for outside jumpers because they were going in. When the shots weren't falling from behind the arc, keep in mind Syracuse went 4 for 22.
That was crazy. That
was
was
not
nuts.
falling. They had to force the ball inside. It was a necessity. And so I'd be interested to see if those three-pointers are falling. This isn't a game. This was a blowout.
Right.
But, they weren't, and Lemoyne used a little bit of physicality. They stretched the floor and brought Syracuse's big men out to the perimeter, which created so many opportunities. I mean, after the game, defense was a little bit of a problem, and people asked about that. And
Yeah,
it goes everywhere.
It was just, for me, it was the early takeaways in the beginning, those early steals resulting in either a layup or a dunk right off the bat, which was kind of like, whoa, what's going on? But this isn't the first time I brought this up with certain things like this. When you have almost like an on-paper deficit, sometimes subconsciously you go in underestimating teams and then you dig yourself a hole. The problem is that, yes, right now Syracuse basketball was able to come back from that. My concern lies with if you go into another game underestimating your opponent, which I'm not saying that they did, but sometimes it happens, you can't get yourself out of that hole. And when you're playing a better team and you're in that hole, sometimes you're too far gone to get out by the end of the
Here's
game.
the thing, though. I don't think they will take their opponent lightly next Tuesday because it's a team that's made the dance 5 of the last 6 years. Matt Langle has a squad an hour south a year. And, he's going to be – he's not one of his 14 seed years. It's probably one of his 16 seed years. But that's still a team that will dominate the Patriot League and a team that will give Syracuse fits and going to cover it like they did last year, or are they going to outright win like they did 2-3 years ago? So
I'm sinking over here.
Oh, you're sinking?
The chair was just going down.
You know what wasn't sinking, though? The free throws.
That
was
free
a problem.
throws were not sinking.
That was a problem.
Smooth.
Thank you. But I mean, that's college basketball, though. If you're in close games and you get to the line, that means that's good. You're down low. You're getting to the stripe, and you're not making them. It doesn't do you any good because then that takes steam out of you. Is like we did it, but like they can just foul us and we can just go to the line and brick. I mean, we're shooting what? I mean, late they did have some free throws that kept them afloat. But I mean, if you're going, what do we shoot? 20 for 31, you're shooting 64% from the stripe. You gotta be better because those are they're free throw, like not to be the old guy in the gym. You're like, these are free throws. You need to make the free throws. I mean, but it is you're 10 feet out. These are things you practice in practice. Things like coaches you don't leave until you make 100. Those type of things.
Yeah, I mean, I think either way, the way that I would look at this game for Syracuse was, for Lemoyne, it was their first time as a Division I program playing inside of the JMA Dome against their crosstown, I guess, rival, you could say. This was their Super Bowl to this, obviously to this point.
Right,
but
they went in having nothing to lose and put everything on the line.
Yes, this was the game that if you looked last year when the schedule came out, this was the one that they're like, we want to show
There was
up.
a lot of green in there. I mean, obviously, like they close travel, but I mean, green showed out in the sea of orange.
Yeah, but also in Lemoyne's preseason game against Mansfield University, they hit 18 threes.
Yeah.
And so Syracuse did a good job of guarding the three-pointer. So everyone said the defense wasn't great, but it wasn't so much the style that they were running. They made that Lemoyne team work the ball inside. But when they spread the floor 5 wide on the perimeter of the three-point arc, it's so hard to guard the inside. When you get one-on-one, no matter who you are, if someone's driving at you and you're trying to stay on their hip, you're not going to have success.
Another problem, especially like when you said they were getting out. Syracuse was biting on every pump fake. Every pump fake. It was in the corner, top of the key. It didn't matter. People were flying. I mean, great tenacity. You want to get that block, but if they can just pump it and drive in for the easy layup, what are we doing here?
When you're looking for that, you see your defender overcommit. It's almost game over. And they're going right
exactly. Because then you're down a man.
And a lot of that is also just because they're such a good three-point shooting team. There were 3 times in that game where they got fouled shooting a three-pointer.
That was bad. Yeah, that was bad. And that goes back to the biting on pump fakes. You just can't do it. You got. I mean, but you have the wing. I mean, you have guys that got huge wings. You guys like Donnie Freeman. I mean, they should like. This works. This is. I'm raising my hands to the sky right now. That works if you're Donnie Freeman. If you're near 7 feet tall.
I think that this is a good team. It's just it's early and they're finding their rhythm.
I'm not saying that this is the final product.
I'm not saying you are.
Whoa.
But I'm saying that.
I'm saying this team's got some growing. We will see a lot.
They're going through some growing pains.
We will see a lot. I mean, hey, a win's a win.
I agree. A W is a W.
We're like.
Are you seeing this?
Yeah. Are you sinking again?
My chair is sinking. I can't.
Get up here, man. Come on.
I might as well stand.
I think it's the chips. I think it's the chips.
I mean, speaking of
weighing you down a little bit.
Rhythm and chemistry, I loved Davis's energy.
Jair Davis off the bench.
In my opinion,
my favorite player
now, he might be one of my favorite players. He is the grit player of this team.
I agree with that. You come off the bench and just provide that spark, and you're scoring a near team high. You're right. No, you are. You scored a team high. Jair Davis 22 points. Yeah. Chris Bell the second most. And you're having pretty much half the minutes of everybody else. I mean, love that.
He's the energy guy.
Oh yeah. I mean, Delaware 4-year guy. I mean, brought them to a dance. Jair Davis is going to be a good guy, especially in that rotation with Eddie Lampkin. I think if those two can gel and they can play them at the same time. Great stuff. Again, we're not having problems really inside.
Sterling also had a great game too.
I like J.J. Sterling. Brought him in clutch at the end. I mean, he's going to score a lot of points for you. He's going to be he was the guy. They gave Autry talking in the press conference. He's like, what was the thought process? Like, J.J. Sterling's our guy. Late in the clock, that guy's going to get the ball, and he did. He went to the lane, tough two, got it to go, really extend that lead, and didn't look back from there.
Yeah,
very late. But.
And then looking forward to that Colgate game in a couple weeks, what do you think needs to be improved on for that?
For the Colgate game?
Mm-hmm. I just think it's taking care of the ball.
Taking care of it's all the fundamental thing. It's all the coach speak stuff of turnovers, because I mean early on it was just like we're like what are we doing out here? So it's turnovers, free throws, and threes and 3-point defense. I think threes on both sides, honestly, because if you can play great 3-point defense, Colgate is a very, very by the books well coached team, and you can't get out coached by just silly things. Like the 3-point defense.
We're going to turn it into the break really quickly. Please leave us some comments if you have any questions, and we will still be talking about Syracuse Colgate at the break.
Sunday, the Orange women are back at it against St. Joseph's.
You're sinking again.
This is a problem.
What's happening to you?
Is there another chair that would go this high?
We are back.
This is kind of crazy.
We could. You want to sit in my lap, buddy? We could do that.
No thanks.
No, I agree. I think that they were just. I don't want to use the word underestimating, but I think sometimes it happens where it's like you should be beating a team, and then it's like you get in your own head about that unknowingly.
Well, that's exactly what happened. Remember Purdue lost to Fairleigh Dickinson? Like that team was the shortest team in the country.
Yeah.
And Purdue was the tallest team in the country.
Yeah.
Basketball, you don't win that game. But on the biggest stage, they did because they got alligator arms and they froze up and they were like, the thought process was, we can't lose this game, not let's go, kick the butt.
But also in that, it's going to be a problem as well in the Colgate game is that Colgate's also a good 3-point shooting team.
I know, that's why you can't foul them when they're shooting threes.
But it's even like if they can stretch the floor and force Lampkin to get a couple of early fouls just like Lemoyne did and take Lampkin off the floor, I mean, it changes the game. It changed the way that Syracuse had to play the game, especially because the Orange could not hit.
Leads into my question. I feel that the 5 people who were on the floor in the second half had more rhyme and rhythm, if you will. Do we look at potentially seeing a new starting 5?
Oh, they're always going to be tinkering with it, but I think these are the guys. These are the guys, though. Mm-hmm. This isn't but it wouldn't be like disaster. Let's change up the 35. It would be let's have this guy come off the bench.
Let's see who works with who. Because you can do it in practice all you want, but you really don't know until it's game time. And now's the time to test out new things.
I think you leave Lampkin. I think the real conversation is, do you have Freeman come off the bench and start Jair Davis? Because when you take Lampkin off the floor, though, you lose the passing ability.
Yes.
Because
Davis,
they don't have the same passing ability.
No.
Lampkin has a great IQ, and he's huge.
I know. But the thing is, I love Davis off the bench. Like that, he showed why he's so great off the bench.
Yeah.
Some people are just better off the bench.
But then you run into a problem if Lampkin does get those early fouls, or they're playing on opposite stints that you never see them together. And when Syracuse looked the best was when they were playing together. So it's something you got to think about.
No, I agree. I don't know. Colgate. They're a dangerous team. This is not one of those teams you want to like Vermont at Auburn today. This is one of those teams you don't want to play at home. Like it's essentially like a team. I mean, they probably have to pay Colgate to be here. I'm assuming, right?
I mean, it's down the road. I doubt it.
I don't know. Lemoyne probably got paid to play here. No way Lemoyne didn't get paid to play here.
It's down the road. It's just it's good competition for them.
I think the thing is, I don't know, these bye games or whatever, I think they're like when we play Cornell, we play Albany, like because we're not guaranteeing a home and home.
No.
Like if you're playing a team, you have to guarantee a home and home if you don't want to
I would love to see a Syracuse at Lemoyne game.
I don't.
Ted Grant Court?
I don't know how the business of that works, but
we can go to Ted Grant. Well, what game are we going to Ted Grant Court? I think we're going to Army at Lemoyne.
Yeah.
For the CB road trip. Oh, we should give a shameless plug.
You already did.
Did we actually?
Yes.
Did we actually? I thought that was during the break.
The second time you've brought this up. We're still on the break.
We're on the break, but I didn't say it for our live radio fans. But if you're listening, if you would like to follow at CBB Road Trip on TikTok and Instagram, Andrew and I will be going across the country. Across the Northeast.
And I will be doing special appearance.
Jill will be doing special appearances.
Jill will be there.
When I can.
Jill will be locked in. She'll be in our backpack. We'll get her into the stadiums.
What?
We have to get her into the stadium somehow.
I'm
they
so
have to check
teeny
your
tiny.
backpack.
She's so little.
I'm so teeny tiny. I'm in his backpack.
I'm a little luggage creature.
That chip really set me over the edge. This chair is
That's what I said. I said this.
Andrew's chair is sinking.
I fear I may be a little bit too big for the chair.
Yeah. Oh, we got a lot of ACC basketball.
Ooh. We can talk about college basketball in general too. I mean, I only watched.
I was gonna mention some of the games we should be looking at for this week.
Oh yeah, love that.
Because there's
Not
so
Virginia.
many.
3.1. Watch live on QSportsTalk.com. Tomorrow's broadcasting stars today. Broadcasting live from the campus of Syracuse University. This is Newhouse Afternoon.
Welcome back to Newhouse Afternoon. I'm Jill Schumacher with Pat Scanlon and Andrew Watson. Now, after looking...
That's us, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that is you. After looking at Syracuse's game this past week, ACC basketball is fully underway and in season.
For some teams.
Some teams
haven't played yet.
Some teams will play tonight. Virginia.
So today they will. Everyone will
starting
be back
this
today.
week.
Okay.
Is what I meant.
But we did get to see a little Cooper Flagg, the prodigal son of the ACC. I mean, solid performance against Maine. Andrew, I mean, it's against Maine.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't get to watch much of it, but it's also
I
good
didn't
for
get a
him.
chance to watch that game.
Yeah, it's also good for him that he got to experience his first game at the collegiate level against a team like Maine, which take away nothing from Maine.
That's
Duke
true.
is just really good.
Oh, yeah.
So for him to get experience against a team like that, and I don't know exactly what his stats were, but just eye test-wise, he looked comfortable. I know he had a couple of highlight plays, and he looked like he belonged on the court with that team, and it'll be interesting to see what he does later in the year when he gets a little bit more comfortable in that environment, especially in big games. It's going to be an exciting time.
Yeah, no, he got 18 points. He had 5 assists, 7 rebounds. I mean, pretty solid across the board. 0 for 4 from 3, though. That'll come with, But
yeah.
There were some matchups I saw for teams in the ACC that I was surprised that were going to be happening this early, and one of them is this Friday, UNC versus Kansas.
Yes, versus Kansas. Also,
this early really surprises me.
Those are really fun. The thing the ACC will do is they'll have these Champions Classics, or they'll play like
the Gotham Classic.
The Gotham Classic, which we will be in,
Yeah.
prestigious tournament. But we can talk about that in a sec. But UNC, I just want to run back real quick. They were in a dogfight late 2 nights ago against Elon. Elon was up with 7 minutes to play. Andrew will say, don't look at this too much as Elon Super Bowl, but Elon went on a 14-0 run to take a 2-point lead with less than 7 minutes to play in Chapel Hill.
And then you know what happened after that?
What?
UNC dominated and went on a similar run of their own.
It's against
and ran
Elon.
away.
It's against Elon.
I genuinely don't think you can look at one of these games in the early going, even Syracuse's game. I don't think you can look
can't
at one
compare it.
game, the first game of the year, no matter who you are playing, and say this team is not who they thought they were.
I'm not
I
going to
agree.
say that. I'm just going to say that it's Elon. They went 13-19 in conference in regular season play last year.
I just think seeing a UNC Kansas matchup this early is very, very interesting.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Duke will play these games. Kansas will play these games, especially these big brands, Blue Bloods, UNC, Kansas.
And then
that should be a great
Louisville on Sunday.
I know. Whiteout, live from Louisville. I was going to say that. That was my big, my fun team last week. I mean, Louisville beat Morehead State, a tournament team from last year, 93-45. The Pat Kelsey era starts with a bang in the Ville. South Florida transfer Kayshawn Pryor dropped 18, 12, and 4 off the bench. Look out for him. And this is a game that Louisville would have lost the last 2 years. They beat UMBC by 1 point last year in their season opener. They lost to Bellarmine the season opener the year before. So if you're beating a team by 40, this is all right. We paid the team to be here. We should be doing that. But also, Louisville hasn't had that breath of fresh air in a while. Great stuff early.
I think it's still interesting to see what that team does this year. I think in the ACC they have ample opportunities to be in that double bye conversation, and I think they probably will be there. But 16 new guys, that's
a lot.
Speaking of Louisville, they are my ACC sleeper team.
Okay. Ooh,
I think
that
just because it's going to be a complete toss-up, because we have absolutely no idea what this team will do, considering it is entirely transfers and freshmen, except for a singular one returner on this team.
But again, this is like the sort of the DePaul thing Andrew and I were talking about a couple days ago. It's like, I don't really want any of those players to return, because they want them to if they just didn't excel to what they were capable of at Louisville.
I would have loved to have Sky Clark back though.
Sky Clark was a good hit.
I understand that, but you can't build chemistry over a span of a year.
The thing is, in college basketball, there is no building chemistry over time anymore.
That's not true.
No, it is true, because with all the NIL stuff, you're just getting more money from more places. There's a reason you have a whole new team coming in and out. There's a reason guys like Tony Bennett and Jay Wright are not playing anymore. It's just coaches can't really do that anymore.
I understand logistically what you are saying, but if you want to build longevity with a team, you have to have those core, at least 4 guys who are there leadership-wise. And now that's just out the window.
I know.
I mean, here's the thing, too, is that if you connect with a lot of players, especially at Louisville this year, I will say will probably stay. They're not going to transfer out again because, first year of the program, you'll see maybe the best couple players say, if I want to go, Duke offered, I'm going, or UNC offered, I'm going.
But this is a big brand. Louisville basketball is a big deal.
But if they're not to the level that people think they will be this year, then that's when you'll have the questions. If they're competitive, then everyone will want to stay, because if
that puts a lot of pressure
back, there's always pressure there. But you also have to consider they had the opportunity to practice with each other over the summer.
That is true.
Over the fall. And
speaking about coming back, my question is, with that team, a lot of those transfers are seniors or grad students. You do have a couple juniors sprinkled in there. I don't have tabs on how much each eligibility those seniors and grad students have. So the question is, do they have it? And if they have it, will they stay for next year?
Yeah, and I think a lot of that, too, is if you can bring in a couple of experienced guys, juniors, seniors, graduate students, and they can have one good year where, okay, we've won 10 games in total the last 2 years, and now we're back. We won 25 games. We made it to the Sweet 16. Mm-hmm. You'll get recruits to go there.
Oh, yeah. And you also get these guys that, some grad students that can't be grad students at like an Ivy League, or some of these smaller town, guys playing at like Jaquan Carlos playing at Hofstra. He's saying, I can take this to the bigger level now that I've showcased my skills at a lower level play. So that's kind of the way it is you're the face of this program at, Mercer, or the face of this program at like South Dakota State, and then, you find your way up like that guy did at Alabama when he was that North Dakota State transfer. And you just find ways to, get more NIL money in help performance, leading to the NBA draft. It's like it's all
it's pieces to a puzzle.
Yeah, like Cooper Flagg will be gone. Like he's the one 5-star freshman. Like he'll be here for a year and then he'll go. But it's like right now it's like we build up somewhere else, and then the coaches have to deal with, they didn't build and mold this player. They have to deal with what they worked with. So they hope that he got, molded the correct way at this other program.
Well, I've said this before in terms of hockey. I've talked about the LA Kings and the Utah Hockey Club, saying you never really know when you start a new program. I know this is not a new program, but it is entirely new people.
Oh, yeah.
What is going to happen?
Oh, yeah,
so
of course.
I just think it will be very interesting to see what will happen over time. And that is why I think that, I don't know if sleeper team is necessarily the right word, but I will have my eyes on that.
Oh, yeah. So you can expect the unexpected.
Yeah, I'm not sure they're sleeper, maybe not be the right word for it, because I think they are one of the teams that is going to prove people
team
that
to
they're
monitor.
good enough. Yeah,
team to monitor.
I think they're going to prove people right.
Yes.
And say they have the talent. I think that's what they'll do.
I agree with that.
It is now time for our favorite segment.
You are about to enter the Judge Jillian Schumacher's courtroom. The people are real, the cases are real, and the rulings are final. This is Judge Jill. Dum dum.
We're all tied at 1, by the way.
We are all tied. Even Jill got a win last week.
I did.
Yeah.
My question of the day is, can you convince me if Syracuse hosted an open tryout for basketball, why you would be an asset to the team?
Oh, boy. All right. Give me 30 seconds here.
I'll go first.
You have 10 seconds.
Okay. I can do the laundry really good.
Whoa.
I can put me towel on the floor, wipe it up. And then occasionally, if you give me an open jumper, I can make like 1 out of 5.
There's no way you can make an open jumper at the Dome.
1 out of 5.
In the game, you could not make it.
No.
1 out of 5?
1 out of 20.
Well, okay, 1 out of 20. That doesn't help his performance. I'm saying if you put me in, I'm a hustle. I'm going to dive at rebounds. I'm going to get you guys better. I'll be a dog for you.
So you're going to jump at everyone's knees.
No. I didn't say that. I said I would just make them work hard, you know? Even though I have no muscle and no anything else, I'd make them work. Jill.
For me, you were more describing what a manager position was, Andrew.
Hey, and that's the only thing that I would ever get on this team. Let's be honest.
For that reason, I will have to go with Patrick. He's buying in as a practice player guy. He's buying into culture.
Managers matter.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening. Keep going and listening to ESPN 97.7 on Newhouse Afternoon. Tune in tomorrow to Newhouse Afternoon as well at the same time.
This is Orange Nation.
Let's go.
I thought that was him talking to me, this commercial. I'm like, what did I do?
We would say boo-boos to each other. Let's go. I got to win today. That was huge.